Alrighty, Tuesday, May 13th. It's like a Friday, but different. I'm going to be giving you new books here in a moment. We'll be going through and taking care of that. We are moving on from Outsiders. I believe everyone in here has taken Outsiders test. I'm not missing anyone. If so, you can let me know. Outsiders test is on Skyward. Let's see, in here, hang on 1 second, pause. So, those of you who got the 75 or higher, you're going to get a chance here in a moment to vote for when you want us to have that day. Oh, and then screen up there is that thing up there.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's, sure, they're adorable. See, I have everyone in here who took tests were good. I will go back and double check that kid and that kid, because apparently I'm human and I make mistakes, like leaving stuff on my desk when I come back in the room. Those of you who got the 75% or higher, if you would like to vote on day, here's where you get out technology thing. You don't have to vote at this moment, but I'll be locking it about 6 o'clock tonight, so if you need to talk to a friend or something, I understand. But you're just going to go to Socrative, room name Kyborb. There's just one question, is you get to vote on the day that works. And then I will figure out which one has the most votes tonight, and then go from there. And I will put the question up on the screen here in a moment to help you out. I tried to give you an option that is each day of the week, except for Friday, which might be possible, but I can't do this Friday because I'm going to be going out of town to go play my disc golf this weekend, so I'm leaving. So, I'm going to make this screen disappear. Here are the options. So, I can't do it today because that was not giving you enough time. I can't do it tomorrow because if I decide tonight, again, that doesn't give you enough time. So I figure the first legit day that we can do it would be Thursday of this week. So we have one day this week we can do it, which would be Thursday. I can't do Friday of this week because, again, I'm leaving town after school. I won't be here. I have a thing I have to go do. So then I tried to give you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week because I have all 3 of those days open. I can do any of those after school, and it would go until about 6 o'clock. Because it's just under 2 hours. We get started right around 4:15. You are more than welcome to bring your own food and snacks if you want to on that day. I have no problem with it. It's just the kids who got the 95%, I will be buying the popcorn for you to help you out. But if you're a big back, you can bring more if whatever I bring you is not enough. If none of those work for you, then you can put none of these work for me, and then I can take that into consideration too. Nate.
You said that you might be able to open the concession stand.
I don't know yet, but it depends on the day. Once I have a day picked, then I can go talk to the people. So that would be why I have to wait till that one.
Put our last name first.
Oh, when you sign in, as long as it's just your name, that's all I care about. It's just so I can make sure that only the kids vote once that have the thing. Hi, Brian. What's your name?
I don't know. Like it always is.
All right. Then once you're done, you can put that away, and I'm done with that. That'll be, again, tonight. I will figure out which one got the most votes. I will send out a student square tonight letting you know. After school today, I am going to Sam's Club. One of my traditions for my class that I have started or have been doing is those of you who have logged a whole bunch of B points, I give you a way to spend some of those B points as we get to the end of the year. I am hoping to maybe start this later this week, maybe tomorrow, depending on how Sam's Club is today, Thursday at the latest, and then we'll do the beginning of next week. This was last year's list. I do not know what I can get this year. It depends on what they have in stock when I go to Sam's Club. But it at least gives you an idea of what I did last year. You can spend up to 50 B points a day for those of you who have it. You cannot you cannot go under 25 B points. So if you're a kid right now sitting at 22 B points, you can't buy anything. If you're sitting at 29 B points, that gives you 4 B points to spend. You're also out of luck. So that would just sort of give you an idea as you go through and figure out the things. The one at the bottom, 100 B points, that's not a spending. That is, if you keep 100 B points on the last day of school, you automatically join my Century Club over here, where you get your name permanently added to my wall. And that is where now you'll be up there forever and ever. As long as I keep teaching, your name will be up there. It also means if you come back as an 8th grader, you get to write on this board over here.
Me.
All the other kids get to write in the little squares over there.
Losers.
So hopefully that helps you out. Are you talking about yourself and you losing points again? Silly Monzo, that would a thing to do. If you would like to sign my podium and become one of the permanent people on there, also an option, but it does cost you 75 B points, which means you have to spend those 75 points, which means you'd have to have at least 100, because minus 75 would take you down to the 25. But you get to sign that rectangle thing if you want. Also, this bottom part tells you that you are ranked on here from the kid that has the most points to the kid that has the least points. So if you have 150 points, you are ranked higher than the kid with 110 points. If you have exactly 100 points, then you are ranked at the very last spot. If you have the most points, then you're going to be at the very top of that list, and then the kids get ranked down below you from there. So that just gives you an idea point-wise. If you are wanting to spend the points, you can. If you want to save them, that is also an option. Questions on that part? Hopefully, Sam's Club works for me today, and I can start selling things tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Yay.
Now, I will be going through and giving you your new book. Home children, new book is going to look like this. I'm getting ready to toss them at kids here in a moment.
I'm gonna do my.
And we're back. I have now handed out books, hi Sophia, to the kids so we can get a chance to go through things from there. Do not leave your post-it note on the outside front cover, please, because as soon as you put it into your locker, bag, anywhere, it's going to come off. So you want to make sure you put it on the inside. You're, again, more than welcome to write name inside of book or anything you want. This is book you get to keep from there.
That was them.
So, when you see calendar, when I write this word, Twtin, Twtin, that's the name of the book in front of you. See title? That was then, this is now.
Only
I just took
159 pages.
first letter of each one, Twttin. So over here, Twtin, Twttin, So just let you know, name of book, that was then,
I'm
this is
gonna
now.
take this one.
So, with book. I went through this morning and tried to write down some ideas to help you with why book and to go into it. Let's go with this. This is a sequel to Outsiders, written by same author, taking place in the same town. This is 2 years after the end of Outsiders. Ponyboy shows up in the book, and now he is a junior, which is 11th grade. In Outsiders, he was a freshman, which was 9th grade. It does not follow the same characters, though. I was trying to be nice to you, but you seem to be really wanting me to. And so with that one, it does follow different main characters, which is now, if you look on front cover, I'll be explaining as we get into it. There are 2 friends named Mark and Brian. So the whole Greaser Soch thing apparently dies out because they talk about it in this book. That after kids started dying, it kind of took all the fun out of things, and that stopped the whole fighting between the 2 groups. But regardless, it turns out at the high school, it wasn't every kid was a greaser or every kid was a Soch. Those were just 2 of the groups, and most of the other kids in the school were just somewhere in the middle. The kids in this book were some of the kids that were just somewhere in the middle. It takes place, let's see, we have, other characters that show up. Remember Randy, which was Bob's best friend? He shows up for a small part. The Shepherds, where they talk about Curly kept getting put in jail, and Tim, who was the one with the scar on his face, they both show up and play a big role in this book. But other than that, there's going to be a lot of new characters taking place in that same town. If you liked Outsiders, you'll like this book.
Yay!
It follows along the same ideas. If
Do you know the Miracle Pill Lab?
I don't know what that means.
Miracle pill out of science.
All you need to
Thanks for translating. Like, I have no idea what he's talking about. If you liked Outsiders, I imagine you'll like this one. If you did not like Outsiders, there's a chance you'll like this one, but you probably won't like this one either. If you didn't read Outsiders, then it probably doesn't matter a whole lot. But that was my way of just sort of keeping you in the loop. Next. As Monzo pointed out, it's short. this is a much shorter book than Outsiders was. Outsiders came in at around 180 pages. This one's about 30 pages shorter. And not only page length, chapter length, it has fewer chapters, plus the writing in it is much bigger. It is just an overall faster, shorter book. If you are a kid that does not hate reading, this is a book that can be completely read in like an afternoon or an evening. It is one that you sit down and go through it. A lot of kids tear through it. If you don't want to read it, I understand that too. Not much I can do about it. But as far as reading of it goes, it's a fast, speedy book. For me personally, this was the first book that made me cry. And I read it when I was in June. I know. I used to have emotions when I was younger. So
What?
I know I read Outsiders when I was in 7th, 8th grade. I don't remember which grade it was. But I don't remember crying from it. I may have, I just don't remember it. This was the first book that actually connected with me that made me cry. There is a death in this book. It is not what made me cry. You can go ahead and keep the door open so he can stop standing creepily.
Open the door.
Yes, that does require the door to open, Brindley. Okay, there we go. There we go. And just stop closing the door. That way it makes it easier. Okay. Problem solved. So, there is a death in this book. There's just not lots of deaths. There is one of the main characters will end up dying, but more importantly, other things end up happening in this book. There are other...
Drugs.
Yes, that is definitely a part of it.
I bet that's your favorite. How much?
Other... If only other kids would follow that same advice.
Shrooms.
Other types of deaths that we're going to get into in the book. But anyway, with this one, what made me cry was not even a death. It was one of those other things that happens in the book. Will this book make you cry? Honestly, I don't know.
No. Strong.
We'll keep trying to help you. It depends on a couple things. A lot of it is going to be your home life. And that'll sort of make your connection on whether or not you cry. For me, this connected to my home life and what I was going through at the time. Even though I was a straight A kid in honor society, my home life was not a good place. And I was definitely struggling and having issues. And so this book hit close to home for me. If your world sort of is similar to this, there is every chance that will happen to you. If not, then it may just be an entertaining book, and that's all you have to worry about from there. Also, this is... I've told you before, I set up my class and the way I run it on purpose. I finished with this book on purpose because this is my last thing I get to do with you. We're almost to the end of the school year. So I set it up where this is my last conversation. This is the thing I want to leave you with. As you leave my room, this is the last sort of memory or thought you will have. I know you guys are excited for end of year. I've heard talking about how many days we have left and stuff like that. For me, I am not excited about end of school year. I don't look forward to the end of the school year and summer. I imagine I'm probably a little bit different than a lot of teachers, but you guys have spent the whole year making me like you. My issue is, at the end of the school year, I don't see a lot of you guys again. Once the school year ends, a lot of you, once you leave my room on that last day, you and I never make eye contact again. Because if 8th grade happens and your classes aren't near me, I don't see you. And if I don't see you 8th grade and you go on to high school, there is every chance we never interact again. For me, that is sad because you have gotten me to like you over the course of a year. So I set up my room and what I teach so that the last thing I get to is my last time to give you advice, my last time to have an impression on you, my last time to try to help you out in any way. That's where this book comes in. Some of you are aware, either from older siblings or from friends who have come through, that I tell stories at the end of the year. What it'll be is 4 days at the end of the year I spend telling stories. And it does eat into my teaching time, but part of it is, it seems to be a thing that kids get more from than most of my actual teaching. I will spend 3 days telling you about the horrible choices I made in my life, where I thought I screwed up my life and ended things. And then the last day is not me telling a story, it's me having a heart-to-heart conversation with you, which we've done a couple times this year, but my last day is not like anything we've done so far this year. You get to see a side of me that you have not seen all year on that last day. This book is why I tell those stories. It came from conversations I had with kids while I read this book that inspired me to start telling my end of the year stories. So this book is what brought all that along. My two kids with hands raised, I'm going to get you in a moment. And to go along those same lines, I worry about you. It's partly why I tell stories at the end of the year, is that I stay in contact with my kids, 8th grade and into high school and into college. I talk to my kids who come back as Camp Tecumseh counselors, and it makes me worry. I have my student. When I look at you guys, I don't just see 7th graders, I see your future. And I connect you to my past kids who go on to high school and college. And I worry, because I see a future for some of you guys that is scary. Because I've had students who go on and drop out in high school and then come back and tell me about it. I've had girls who get pregnant in high school and have babies before they hit 18. I have kids who go through life struggles, whether it be through friends or whether it be through drugs, and I worry, and I want to be able to help you. This book is part of that, where I can get a chance to help you. Outsiders is great with what happens in the book, but I don't think a lot of Outsiders is stuff that connects to your life. I'm not worried about you guys getting caught up in a murder charge or having to stab somebody. What happens in this book is much more realistic with what you're going to have to go through. This book deals with what do you do with your best friend when your best friend and you start growing apart. Because one of the conversations I have with my Camp Tecumseh counselors when they come back is I ask them, are you still friends with the same kids you were in 7th grade? Typically the answer is no. Most friends that you have in 7th grade, you grow apart from by the time you become a sophomore, by the time you hit 10th grade. For any number of different reasons. It's not always bad. Sometimes you guys just go different directions. What this book deals with is, what do you do when your best friend that you have had forever, who you know is a good person, starts to make choices that you no longer agree with? Do you choose your friend, or do you choose your own path forward? The other thing I like about this book is, for those of you who read it, I will tell you now, it ends on a downer. The last couple chapters are sad. It does not try to make it a Hollywood ending. Hollywood endings is where everything comes together and wraps up. This book treats you like big kids, which is the last thing on there. Is that this book does not try to sugarcoat it. It does not treat you like you're a little kid reading it. It says sometimes things in life suck, and sometimes bad things happen, and you just have to deal with it. In this book, bad things happen, and it sucks, and it is very realistic. And that's what ended up getting to me. That's why I chose the book for us to read. Hi, Brian.
2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, one, is the book based on a true story?
Not like the first one was. It was in the fact that it's based again on her friends, but not to the point of the first one was. This was more when she went to college and what she dealt with, she decided to write about that.
And 2, I'm gonna see you in 8th grade.
I hope so. I hope that for all, but it doesn't always happen. I hope so, but it's not. But the thing is, I don't have control over it like you guys do. So if you want to see me, I will absolutely be here and be nice, but I can't force you to see me. Daniel?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's wonderful. Nate?
Are we gonna have any quizzes over the book?
We're going to get to that coming up. That'll be my discussion tomorrow. Those of you who do hate reading, again, I have found a Twtin audiobook that you are welcome to listen to.
Ew.
Here's the problem. Well, if it's a problem, it's not me reading it. This one's going to be an actual professional reader. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I've had kids who have both liked it and complained because it's not my voice, but maybe you don't have to hear my voice all the time, and so you can hear a professional person read. But I still plan on reading with you in class, but for those of you who hate reading, and I put audiobook on there for you to help you out. Alright, the last thing we get to do, me reading and talking about book with you. So book is going to start off with the 2 main characters who we're going to talk about in a moment, who are big guy in the middle. He is the main character telling the story. There's a guy in a black shirt over on this side. That's his best friend that they're going to talk about in a moment. The other person on the other side, I'm going to save it as a surprise because they pop up later in the book. And I don't want to give that one away yet.
Praise God.
They don't make good choices. It starts off, they're 16, 17 years old, and it starts off with them going into a bar and trying to get alcohol, which is still illegal even during this time period. But again, they start off not being the best people. I like them, but sometimes kids make poor choices. Oh, by the way, look where chapter 1 starts. Look what page number that is.
9.
We've already gotten 8 pages done. That's another reason why kids like this book, is it started counting on that very first page. It counted that as page 1. So by the time you get to chapter 1, it's already page 9. And you're like, whoa.
I love this book.
See, I don't always hate all of you. Chapter 1. Mark and me went down to the bar/pool hall about 2 or 3 blocks from where we lived with the sole intention of making some money. Now, we'd done that before. I was a really good pool player, especially for being just 16 years old. And what's more, I looked like a baby-faced kid who wouldn't know one ball from another. This, and the way Mark set me up, helped me hustle a lot of pool games. The bad deal is, it's against the law to be in this pool hall if you're underage, because there's an adjoining bar. The good deal is, the bartender and owner was a good friend of mine, being the older brother of this chick I used to like. When this chick and me broke up, I still stayed friends with her brother, which is unusual in cases like that. Charlie, the bartender, was just 22 years old, but he had a tough reputation and kept order real good. We lived in kind of a rough part of town, and some pretty wild things went on in Charlie's bar. I looked around for a plainclothes cop, meaning undercover cop like that, for a plainclothes cop when we went in. I can always tell a cop. But I didn't find one, so I went up to the bar and hopped on a bar stool. "Give me a beer," I said, and Charlie, who was cleaning glasses just like every bartender you ever see, gave me a dirty look instead. "Okay, a Coke." "No, your credit ain't so hot, Brian. You got cash?" "It's a dime. For crying out," by the way, this was back when a dime would buy you an entire Coke. "A dime, for crying out loud. Come on, can't you let me charge a dime Coke?" "Cokes are 15 cents now, and you've already got $3 worth of Cokes charged here. And if you don't pay up this bump, I'm going to have to beat it out of you." He said it real friendly-like, but he meant it. We were friends, but Charlie was a businessman, too. "I'll pay up. Don't worry." Charlie gave me a lopsided grin. "I ain't worried, kid. You're the one who should be worried." I was, to tell the truth. Charlie was a big, tough guy, so a $3 beating up was something to worry about. "Hey, Mark, there ain't nobody here to hustle." Mark, again, this is the blonde kid who's his friend, who'd been scouting out the 2 guys playing pool, came up and sat down next to me. "Yeah, that's the truth. Just as well, you guys are going to get in real bad trouble one of these days. Some guy's going to get hacked off when he finds out what you're doing, and you're going to get a pool stick rammed down your throats." "No, we ain't. Give me a Coke, Charlie." "We don't have any credit." Mark stared at Charlie disbelievingly. "You've got to be kidding. Man, when did we ever not pay our bill?" "Last month." "Aw, you said you'd add it on to this month's. That's what you said. So I don't see why you can't add 20 cents to that." 30 cents, corrected Charlie. "And like I just told Brian, if I don't get that money pretty soon, I'm going to take it out of a couple of hides. I'll get you the money tomorrow, if you give us the Cokes right now." "Okay." Charlie gave in to Mark. Almost everybody does. It was a gift he had. A gift for getting away with things. He could talk anyone into anything. "But if I don't get that money by tomorrow, I'm going to come looking for you." I got chilled. I'd heard Charlie say that to another guy once. I also saw the guy after Charlie found him. But if Mark said he'd have $3 by tomorrow, he'd have it. Do any of you guys have a friend who, no matter what they do, they never seem to get in trouble, and they seem to get away with stuff, and it drives you nuts? That's his friend Mark. As we get into the book, Mark keeps doing things that Brian would get in trouble for, and Mark never gets in trouble. So, real quick, this $3 beating. So that you understand why he's getting beat up for $3, you have to see how things have changed from 1970, when this book was, till now. So, cost of a Coke was 10 cents. I'm going to make you do some quick math. Let's say you buy $3 worth of Cokes
30 Cokes.
at 10 cents a piece. Look at someone in advanced math. And that's going to be how many Cokes?
30. I'm at double.
30. Look at you. You got about 30 on that. 30 Cokes. So how much would a Coke cost today if you go out to a restaurant?
Like a buck.
$3.
It's like a
$3.
We'll go $2. That's in between a buck and $3. We'll go 2. That was what I had too. So here's your math problem. If we buy 30 Cokes
60.
at $2 each, we got double math over here. So if you say it was $3 a piece, that would make it 90. So it's more if he's going to get beat up for between $60 and $90 as opposed to $3. I mean, beating someone up is never good, but at least this gives you an idea of why he's getting beat up. We're going to stop there. That's the end for today. Your homework is to bring the book back tomorrow.